My name is Miss Regine. That's how you may address me, or you can call me Chair, Teacher, whichever is most comfortable for you. My name is spelled Rajin. All right, everyone. Thank you for being on time. It is 7 o'clock, so I'm going to begin now. So just a couple of things. Usually during the lecture itself, you will all be on mute so that we do not distract each other. If at any point you have any questions, please do feel free to use that icon. I may not be able to get to you immediately, but I'll definitely try my best to answer all your questions as soon as I can. Okay, so for now, if everyone is okay, I would like to start today's lessons. Okay, so welcome to your P4 English class today. Now, how was your pre-lesson task? So let's just quickly go through the pre-lesson task again. Okay, so it says read the two statements below. Do you agree or disagree with them? For each statement, you can say whether you agree or disagree and give at least one sentence explaining why. So the two statements that were given to you were, being able to speak your mother tongue fluently is very important, and school lessons should only start at 9 in the morning. Which one did all of you agree with? Number one. Did you agree with number one? Did anyone agree with number one? So I see, okay, great. Okay. And interestingly, how about number two? School lessons should only start at 9 in the morning. Did anyone agree with that as well? So we've got a few as well. Okay. So let's recall, what did we learn in our last lesson? So concord, which means I understand the two different types of concord, noun, pronoun, and subject, verb concord. I know the general rules of concord in grammar. I can remember the rules even when the questions are deliberately confusing. So even if they are made a little bit complicated, a little bit tricky, you are still able to remember the grammar rules. And of course, lastly, I can answer some questions. Okay. Now, why is concord important? Why is it important for us to know our pronouns, our subject-verb agreement? Basically because concord is tested in your grammar multiple choice, your grammar close, your editing, your comprehension close, and your comprehension. Okay, and also in your writing components, in your composition and your situational writing, if clearly you have some grammar errors, you also lose marks. Okay, so that's why these concord errors are, it is very important that we do not make concord errors in several parts of our exam. Okay, so what is concord? For example, there are several meanings. There's even a non-grammar meaning of the word concord, okay? So it's from this word discord. When friends disagree, they experience discord. Can anyone tell me, what does discord mean? When friends disagree, they experience discord. Would anyone like to make a little guess?
Disconnecting.
Yeah, so they are not connected, they are disagreeing. Thank you very much, Emma. Okay, so they are not in agreement, they are not agreeing with each other. Okay? So when there's agreement, there is concord. When there's agreement, there is concord. And when there's a disagreement, that's discord. Okay, so it's the same for English. There are two main kinds of concord. Noun, pronoun concord, and subject, verb agreement. All right? So let's look at the first one first. Noun, pronoun concord. What is noun, pronoun concord? Sounds very complicated, right? But it's actually really simple, and I'm very sure all of you use it in your writing, definitely at this level, your P4 level by now. So it means that every pronoun must agree with the noun that came before it. Okay, before we go on to the example sentence, can someone just look around your room that all of you are in? Can you give me one example of a noun around you?
My mother.
Yes, your mother. Lovely. Okay, your mother. Great. Thank you, Emma. Okay, so yes, that's an example of a noun, okay? Your mom, an object. For example, I can see a computer screen, I can see a table, I can see chairs. So all those objects and people are under noun. So for example, my mother is very excited. Now, what is the correct pronoun after this? Would someone else like to try? Yes, Caris?
She.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Caris. So, she is celebrating, obviously, her birthday today. So that's the correct pronoun. Okay, great. Perfect. Let's move on. So this means that every pronoun must agree with the noun. So the pronoun she must agree with the noun mother. Okay, so as Emma and Carrie pointed out, you've got she is celebrating her birthday today. So the noun is mother. The matching pronoun would therefore be she and her. So this is one example of a noun-pronoun concord. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, so let's move on. So it sounds simple, right? Fantastic. But there are some tiny little parts where sometimes it can get a little confusing. When can it get a little confusing? Let's look at these two statements over here. Daniel's parents believe that he is working too hard. Daniel's parents believe that they are working too hard. So what is the difference between the first statement and the second statement? Can anyone tell me?
The first one it says he is, but the second one it says are.
They are. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you very much. So yes. So the first one, as pointed out by Hader, you see he is, and the second one, they are. And over here, if it's he, that means the noun that they are referring to is just Daniel. Okay, so in this one, you have Daniel. So that's why the pronoun should be he. But if you're referring to Daniel's parents, if that is your noun, then the pronoun should be they. Okay, so let's look at another one. Moses, he, right? So one person visits his aunt every week because she is old and needs his help. So you have Moses, the noun, and then you have his, which is the pronoun. Let's look at the next one. Moses visits his aunt every week because she is old and needs his help. So aunt is the noun here, and so the correct pronoun with it is she. All right, so aunt, she. All right, let's move on. Great job so far, everyone. Now let's try some ourselves, all right? Question 1. Students have to bring / books to class every day or risk being punished by the discipline master. Can everyone please write down your answers? Is it A, his, B, her, C, their, or D, our? Okay, so I can see all your answers. So everyone has the same answer so far. Okay, perfect. Let's check on. So yes, perfect, everyone. You are correct. Okay, the matching pronoun to the noun students is their. Well done. So students have to bring their books to class every day. Perfect. Let's look at the next one. Good morning, sir. I've prepared the materials for your meeting with the committee later on. Cynthia said to the president as she handed the papers to... Okay, so those of you who typed in the answers, the answer B, perfect. Because the noun is sir. Good morning, sir. Okay, so I've prepared the materials for your meeting with the committee later on. Cynthia said to the president as she handed the papers to him. All right? Okay. Now, for this one, what is the underlined word referring to? Alison and her family were watching the reporter talk about Hurricane Wesley on television. Why is everyone so worried about it? She asked Mom. Lots of people live where that storm is going, Mom replied. They need to be prepared for it.
The answer is D.
Okay, so you think it's D? Okay, let's check. Hurricane Wesley. So yes, perfect. Well done, Harris. Okay. So it here, the pronoun refers to the noun Hurricane Wesley. It tells you that the word refers to an object, an inanimate object. Inanimate means it's not living, a non-living thing. Okay. All right, let's move on. How about they here? Alison and her family were watching the reporter talk about Hurricane Wesley on television. Why is everyone so worried about it? She asked Mom. Lots of people live where that storm is going, Mom replied. They need to be prepared for it. What does they refer to?
See.
Okay, let's check. Okay, so Xavier thinks that they here refers to see people living in the path of the storm. Well done. Yes. Okay. So here they refer to lots of people. Great. Okay, great job, everyone. Those of you who are all putting up your hands, and I'm just trying to get to everyone one by one. Thank you for your continuous participation. Okay, so we've just looked at noun, pronoun. Now let's go to the second one, subject, verb, agreement. Okay, now what does this mean? So remember just now we talked about concord, where it means agreement. Discord is the opposite. So it's the same thing here. The subject and the verb need to agree with each other. Okay, it means that the verb must match the noun. If the noun is singular, the verb has to be singular as well. If the noun is plural, the verb has to be plural as well. So for example, would someone like to try the next one? The baby mice is or are excited?
The baby mice are excited because their mother is coming home with some cheese.
Perfect. Great. Okay, thank you, Emma. So yes, the baby mice are. So mice is plural. So the baby mice are excited because their mother, singular, one is coming home with some cheese. Great. Okay, so we've got plural, are, singular, is. Okay, let's move on then. So again, that was a very simple example. Let's look at some more complicated or confusing examples. All right, let's look at this one. What is the subject that the verb is referring to? The bouquet of flowers, which I want to buy for my mother, cost or costs? Which one's the correct one? About $80. Let's pick out all the nouns in the sentence before deciding which one it refers to. Okay, so let's pick out the nouns first. You've got bouquet of flowers. So an entire bunch, okay, of flowers. Now, can someone first tell me, bouquet of flowers, is this a singular or plural noun?
Singular.
Let me see. Yes, thank you very much, Henry. Okay, so yes, you are right. It's singular because it's not referring to just all the flowers, but the one bouquet, the one bunch of flowers. Okay, so it's singular. So because it's singular, I'm sure all of you know that therefore the answer is costs with the S at the end. Okay, so always follow the collective noun if there's one. If the collective noun is singular, the verb should also be singular. All right? Okay, let's move on. So, number one, we got the answer. Now, number two, John, as well as his sisters, is or are in school?
John as well as his sisters are in school.
Okay, so you think it's are? All right, let's see. So, John, here the subject that sentence is referring to is just John. Just John, Rochelle. So do you think it should be is or are?
Is.
Yes. Okay, it should be is. Thank you. Because we're looking at the one subject, John, and then it, as well as the sisters, is just the second clause, which is inside. So we're referring to the main one. The main one is John. So that's why is. Okay, the main subject is John, singular is. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Neither Dan nor his friends is or are attending the concert.
Neither Dan nor his friends are
Attending?
concert.
Okay.
Attending the concert.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ricky. Okay, so Henry, you want to say something?
The answer is
is.
Why would the answer be is?
Because it's neither nor means nobody.
Yes. Okay. So yes, the answer should be, okay, is. Thank you. So it's is because it's neither nor. It's a singular. It's not referring to a whole group. Okay. So as a result of that, for paired conjunctions, okay, you can look at is or over here because of the paired conjunctions. Okay, Ricky. So you have neither nor, either or, not only, but also. So the proximity rules, usually we look at the end here. So Ricky is correct in this sense. Okay, so we looked at the one that's next, right next to where the verb is. So Ricky is correct. It should be are. Okay, and because of this, we then decide whether it's plural or singular. Okay, so let's try more now. The first one. The basketball team is or are planning to meet up after school today to celebrate Mr. Tan's birthday. So for this one, it's because, again, it's like the bouquet of flowers. It's just referring to one collective subject. So here, the team. Okay, so it's is. Okay, how about the next one? The Prime Minister, together with his wife, greets the guests at the formal dinner cordially. A or B? Okay, so the answer is greets. Similarly, because here we're looking at the main subject, the Prime Minister. Okay, this is the second clause. So we look at the main one, the first one, the Prime Minister. All right. Okay, let's move on. How about the next one? Not only the students, but also their instructor, A, has, or B, have been called to the principal's office. Yes. So remember the proximity rule for paired conjunction. So this is the paired conjunction. So you look at the one that's just the subject just before the blank, and in this case, it's instructor. So that's why the answer is A, has. Okay. How about the next one? Okay. So most of the milk has or have gone bad since Terry forgot to put the bottles in the refrigerator. Okay, now here, most is an uncountable noun. As you can see, milk is an uncountable noun. Okay, since we can't count liquids. So, oopsie. That's why, yes, the answer is has. Okay, A. All right, let's move on to the next one. 4 years. A is, B are, a long time to spend in another country away from your friends and family. Okay, so well done, everyone. So this is actually a trick question. Okay, 4 years here is a general reference to just the single length of time. So that's why it's singular, and all of you have given the correct answer as well. Well done. Okay. All right. So, what is one question you have about today's topic? So before I go on, does anyone have any questions? No? We will do a little bit of practice today since we've got time to practice the noun, pronoun, and the subject-verb concord. Okay, you can pick out any storybook that you may have next to you right now, or any magazine or newspaper article, and from there, pick out a noun, pronoun, okay, a sentence which has noun and pronouns, and a sentence which has a subject and verbs. And then from there, actually explain the rules. So that's what we're going to do for the next few minutes. May I ask all of you, if you have, to grab a storybook that you have next to you, an English storybook, of course. Can you please grab an English storybook next to you? Okay, so what am I going to ask all of you to do right now? I'm now going to ask you to pick out any page in your book. I'm going to ask you to pick out a sentence where you can see noun and pronouns in that sentence. So remember the examples that we did just now. So maybe let me go back to that slide. So for example, okay, Any one of these. Can I get you to now just take 2 or 3 minutes to look at your storybook and pick out one sentence where there is a matching noun and pronoun with it. Okay, once you have gotten your sentence, can I now ask you to type your sentence in the chat box? Okay, so let's look at some of the sentences that your friends have written so far. Okay, the first one, my sister always keeps her diary with her. Okay, so great. So the noun is sister, pronoun her, great. My mother loves her sister a lot. Again, noun mum, pronoun her. This is a nice, interesting one, Rochelle. All those troubles were too big for old Mr. Pandolfo to manage. Great, but he thought he could do something about the birds, at least. Great, thank you for putting it in brackets, Rochelle. Mr. Pandolfo, he. Haida, Nico did not listen to what he had been told. Okay, great. Yes, had. Okay, great sentences so far. Okay, let's look at the next one. Running that shelter was probably a lot of work, and it was very possible Betty just wanted to sell the building, collect the cash, return to sunny Florida, playing bingo every day for the rest of her life. Okay, great. So you've got Betty as the noun and her as the pronoun. Okay, fantastic. Okay, now I'm going to ask you to close your books, everyone. And I'm going to ask you to type your own sentence in the chat box now. Can you type your own sentence in the chat box now, please? Can I get everyone to type out their own sentence now with a noun and a pronoun? And if you can, be careful of your other tenses as well, your past tense, your singular, your plural. Okay, perfect. Haida, my brother was eating his lunch. Tom is very excited as he is going for a sleepover tomorrow. Perfect. Tom, noun, he, pronoun. My sister's stuff is so cute. Her friends love them and ask for her where to put them. Okay, try that sentence again. Make it a bit shorter and check the grammar. My sister is playing with my toys. Okay, where's the matching pronoun here? Try that one again also. So for example, I'm going to write a few here. My sister has cute toys and her friends always ask to play with them. That can be one example. Another one, my mom plays with her game a lot. Jane said she was going to join swimming lessons. Jane, she, okay, great, thank you. So how about this one? Where is the pronoun? My brother is playing with his, maybe, computer game, something like that. Brother, his, okay? Yes, my sister is playing with her toys. Perfect. Okay, great. So most of you are getting it. Let me see this one. My brother and his friends are playing on the field while I was playing with my Lego. Okay, how can we make the noun and the pronoun a bit clearer in that? My mom is using her phone to look. Yep, okay, great. This one. My brother and his friends were playing. Okay, great. Okay, let's move on. Okay, I'm going to close the chat group for a bit. Okay, let's move on. Now let's look at the next one, the subject-verb agreement. Let's look at one example here. Yep. So for example, just now we had one example here. The baby mice are excited because their mother is coming home with some cheese. We also looked at this one. The bouquet of flowers which I want to buy for my mother costs about $80. John, as well as his sisters, is in school. Neither Dan nor his friends are attending the concert. So there are three examples here may I please give you 2 minutes again now to open your storybooks again and pick out a different sentence where you have a subject and the verb. And if you can, in brackets at the end, tell me which subject and which verb you are actually referring to in that sentence. So open your storybooks again, everyone, and look for the next sentence that has a good subject and verb. Okay, the chat room is open if you would like to start typing your answers. Okay, very good sentences so far. Okay, so remember here I'm looking for subject and verb, not noun and pronoun, yeah? Sister and her friends are. Jason was. Okay, this one I can't see the verb. Remember I'm looking for subject and verb now. Gloves were. So now we're not looking at noun and pronoun. So not his. Okay, now we're looking at is, are, singular and plural. Which verb would we use? So for example, gloves were. Okay, so thank you very much for those of you who actively looked for sentences in your books and also actively wrote your own sentences as well. Well done. Now, I am now going to show you 2 sentences in the chat room. Have a look. Okay, so I still see some more very good sentences coming in. Now, let's practice more subject-verb agreement sentences. A. More than half of the basketball court is used for volleyball practice. Or B. More than half of the basketball court are used for volleyball practice. Can you type in your answer? A or B? Which is the correct answer? Okay, so just type your answers once. So if you look at the question, the correct answer is A, more than half of the basketball court. So we're looking at the whole subject of the basketball court. Okay, so it's an uncountable. You can't count the more than half in different parts. It's just one. Okay, one. So more than half of the basketball court is. So most of you got your answers correct. Okay, the answer is A. How about the next one? I think the next one, most of you should be okay with it. A, some of the potatoes is salted or some of the potatoes are salted. In this sense, in this example here, would you have is or are? Okay. Okay, great. So everyone got this correct. So potatoes is obviously the countable one. Perfect. Okay, let's look at the next one. Hopefully this one will be a little bit more tricky for you. Either of the classic cars is for sale or either of the classic cars are for sale. Okay, good. So I'm going to move on because so far so good. How about the next one? A limousine and driver is in the driveway. A limousine and driver are in the driveway. Right, so far so good. Well done. Okay. Okay, everyone else, I'll just have one last question for you. Okay, I'm just going to type something here and I want to see whether it gets through to all of you, okay? And I'll see whether, Ricky, you get it as well. So the rest of you, I can see your answers. Okay, you're doing a great job. Let me just try something. Oops. Ricky, can you see the question?
Yes.
Yep, okay. Can all of you answer this question now? Number 1 or number 2, which is the correct sentence? $6 is too much to pay for a book. $6 are too much for a book. Okay, so what was the correct answer? Number 1? Okay, so, Emma, would you like to answer, please?
Answer is A.
Yes, okay, so $6. Thank you, Emma. So $6 is just one collective amount. Okay, so I'm just going to end it here, close it. Okay. All right. So let me just summarize what we've done today. So I hope all of you understood the two different grammar points that we did today in Concord, which was noun, pronouns, and subject verb. So remember that just a very small example that we did. When you start, the next time when you start reading a storybook, newspaper article, or a magazine, okay, don't just read it to enjoy the story, which of course you must also, but the other thing that you can do while practicing for your grammar is to also say, this sentence, where's the noun? Where's the pronoun? Where's the matching pronoun? This sentence looks interesting. Where's the subject? Where's the verb? Okay, and then either to your parents or anyone else around you, or sometimes even to yourself, explain the Concord rules to yourself, or like I said, to anyone around you. And explaining actually helps you understand, okay, the sentences better. All right, so that's what you can do.